Hello there and welcome back to the Sanctum, the place where I show you all of my tricks while I pull them off live right in front of you. And today's a great day because we're going to be finally putting an end to the whole saga that has been all the way down to this very point in time. The saga of Bitwig the Great. And we're going to be actually finishing off this track thanks to the contributions of one of you guys, Robbie, a friend of the channel. And he actually decided to delight us with his angelical voice as a contribution to this particular track. So, aren't you excited, Thiago? Or are you afraid? Look at that.
Apparently, I'm afraid.
Keep rocking. Do the trick. Do the trick.
Okay, so hello, girls and boys.
Keep going.
I speak to you from the depths of my camera failing, but I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to have you here as well. And yes, I actually am excited because this project shaped up better than I expected. Because
go to you. I'm gonna try to fix it.
Okay, so keep staring at the darkness of
Yes.
my soul. The project actually took a way more massive size than I expected in the very beginning, because it kind of turned out to be a full song, quite layered with very interesting sounds and a very interesting concept behind it. And I thought it would be just experimentation at the beginning, so I'm happy to see how it turned out.
Somebody has low faith on me. So
I do.
wherever. So with that being said, and after you enjoyed his beautiful darkness, let's take a look at this. I'm gonna turn on this light because that also helps. There it is. Look at that. So stunning now. Okay, let's go to it. Now, in front of us, we got Bitwig Studio. Right now, I am showing you the mixing because mixing environment, because I wanted to make sure that everything, the new files or the new tracks provided by Robbie, will be fed correctly to the summing bus that is feeding the live bus that you're hearing right now. So I'm gonna go to the beginning. I'm gonna go to the arrangement environment, and I'm gonna try to set the volume for every single one of the tracks that Robbie added to the song. Here you got the entire arrangement, and I'm gonna try my best to get them positioned in a way that is sensical for the track. Here we go, from the top. Here we go! Not bad.
Yep.
What do you think?
I like it. Oh,
With that,
okay.
Stony and Brave.
Yes, I like that. I find that the additions the Robbie did to the whole thing, they are working upon the general idea of the track that was already discussed on previous episodes, and I think was cool his input on it. I particularly like how he interacted the reverse vocals with the spaces in between of the other vocal takes.
Agreed.
I think that was cool, and of course, once the effects are added, the ambience that's gonna come out of that's gonna be very cool.
Okay. Yeah, I feel the same way. And he gave me a little bit of room to move around when it comes to the stereo spectrum because he actually did something cool here. Let me show you. For example, he recorded this section. I'm going to create a looping region here. And this is actually cool. And by the way, that noise that you hear right now is the mellotron, okay? Let me show you which one of the effects in question. It's, let me find it. It's a tiny noise, man. You can hear it. It's Mellowfy, this guy. Look. If I turn it off, no noise.
Yep.
Why? Because they gotta be cute. No, it's because this is doing this. Okay? And I can reduce the noise. But where's the fun? Okay, and also let me check because the other day I had an issue with a particular reactor. No, it was a contact instrument that kind of hangs. But no problem. It's not failing us. Perfect. Now let me show you what I was trying to explain to you. He did something that I liked. He created these layers of sound. He recorded the same take. Let me make sure because this is something that Bitwig has to fix. In order does, whenever you select the channel, the surface moves the entire of the channels presented to you to the one that you selected, using the one that you selected as the basis. So I'm very used to that, and that happens on Mixbus, Luna, and Logic. This guy, for whatever reason, is not reacting the same way. I might have to deal with the parameters, but who knows? Now, sounds like this. See what he did.
We're lost behind the blackened veil. Lost behind the blackened veil.
Could you tell a difference in the different vocals?
The first one was dry.
No, it has plenty more of low end. Once again.
We're lost behind the blackened veil.
That one has not only more low end, but also has a little bit of modulation. The second one.
Lost behind the blackened veil.
Delay and reverb, sorry. Reverb. And the last one is the dry one. Well done, Robbie. I am a huge advocate of sticking to your guns and committing to sounds. And when he was crafting his takes and messing around with his effects, he found those that worked. And instead of sending me the parameters of the potential plugins that he was using, and chances are that I don't have access to the same plugins because libraries varies depending on your taste, it would be impossible for me to replicate the sound. So he committed to it. And also, it's not just double it. It's not a double of the sound. He actually recorded it 3 times. Well done. So what I'm gonna do with this, I will use the dry signal to be the center, and I'm gonna pan the other two guys to the sides, creating a wider sound. But now, before I begin messing around, this is the way I like to organize my projects. Even when I'm not mixing, I like to have order in the way that the information and the channel count is presented to me. How I do it? I usually organize them based on the moment on which they show up. The earlier they show up, the higher they are in the ranking. Okay? So we're gonna take these guys first to the top. And one more thing. I'm gonna take the toms because he added some percussions that I like. They work. I'm gonna put them at the top of the chain. Not the top, but where my drums are. Everything drum related is always on the top. So I always begin drums, bass, harmony, all the way down to vocals.
Yeah, because as we all know, drums are the most important element of any
No,
music.
it's the first thing that you have to get rid of. So now, as you can tell, we're starting to get some form of coherency. The issue is this. In here we got this reverse vocal that will happen here, Then we got these extra layers to this section. Don't know yet what I'm gonna do with them. These could be even on top of them, like this, and even these three guys will be here. The thing is that I'm trying to organize them in clusters of what they do. Clusters of no, clusters of what based on what they do, or what they kind of represent in the track. Now, this is the section that I was explaining to you. I'm gonna get the one that is the center to be the top of this layer, of this cluster. This is gonna be this is the dry. So I'm gonna start changing names. This is gonna be box dry. Caps, white caps, easier to read from afar, and believe it or not, my screen is kind of far from me. Then this is gonna be, again, logic. I need to learn the key commands. This is gonna be box L, box R. There it is, perfect. This is, I'm gonna now change this one because I know that everything starting from this section onwards is gonna be vocals. So this guy is gonna be phrases. Be phrases. Perfect. This is gonna be the ending one. Sup, Robbie? No worries. That happens to the best of us. He was late. And this is gonna be the ending too. Perfect. So now we got it kind of in order. Now in here I'm gonna change these guys as well because I want to be able to read them here on the desk without having to do some guesswork. So this is gonna be box. This is gonna be box 2. This is our box. And excellent. Now it's in order. Perfect. And evil boys, I'm gonna short it. It's gonna be e-boys or evil. And then spoken. And I always put at the top, even though it sounds weird because this is not proper English, boys evil doesn't make sense, but it's because I will use the V as a reference point for these guys, okay? Now I know that those are boxes, okay? These guys, I know, and I kept them. This is reverse boys. That's why I put the R before, okay? Now, everybody's happy with this?
Yes.
I guess. Look at that. I can feel the excitement. Let's begin messing up with Robbie's proposal. First and foremost, I want to do something funky with this section here. Let's take a look. Let's listen.
In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing lights through
Here's the question. Here's the main question. What to do with this section here? Because these kind of belong to this cluster. But now that we got them in kind of order, I think my brain is starting to see a proper pattern here. So I think I will keep them here. Now, my OCD is kicking in hard, so I'm gonna put it there. No,
Why?
no, it's stupid, right?
Yeah, that
There's
feels
something
kinda weird.
Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna stick to that one. Yeah, whatever. I'm going autistic right now. Okay, now let's see. I'm gonna begin with this section. Let's play around first with the vocals. Let me try to organize them in accord to the stereo spectrum. These guys right now, I think this is a dry.
the black and veil.
This is a dry vocal, so I think my dry vocals will be centered. Then we got this section.
The black and veil.
That's another dry vocal. I think I'm gonna begin messing around with this guy. So let's do it. First, introducing Fission MK2 by Eventide. Nobody's surprised.
So you know it's good.
Yeah, but you already can see that. God damn!
Okay, that looks like F3.
Tons. Yeah, it will take a lot of DSP because this is actually kind of badass. Let me show you what he's gonna do. This guy is gonna divide. Are you familiar with the split EQ, Diego?
I am familiar with split
Can you
EQ,
can
yes.
you explain it to the masses watching?
So, well, where am I? I'm messing up today. The split EQ basically divides the sound that you're working on, well, on transients and what's the name of the other one?
A tonal.
And tonal. And like that, you can EQ them separately. So you can, for instance, push the highs on just the transient information while pushing the lows or whatever on the tonal.
Yeah.
And it gives you quite a lot of precision when it comes to how you can apply your EQing. It's
Look
very
at
cool.
that. Look at that. Well, what if I tell you that Fission does the same, but instead of EQing, adds effects?
Ah, okay, that can be quite cool.
Yeah. So let's begin. First and foremost, that's why it's getting it's eating a lot of DSP power right now. So we're gonna be working with this box 2. I'm gonna center this guy for now because I think we're gonna totally obliterate it. Look, first and foremost, let's listen to it by its own and let's see what we can get. I'm gonna create a looping region. Perfect, thank you very much. That's it, and it's looping. Yes, it is.
On the black and valley blinds the day, steals the colors.
It's already doing its thing. So I'm gonna first work with the transient information and let's see what we can do with it. I think I can add some form of maybe modulation to the center and then apply some form of delay or reverb to the sides, not to the center, to the tonal. Okay, so here we go.
All the black and valley blinds the day, steals the colors, fades away. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless night. All the black and valley blinds the day, steals the colors, fades away. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless night. All the black and valley blinds the day, steals the colors, fades away. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless night. All the black and valley blinds the day, steals the colors, fades away. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless night. All the black and valley blinds the day, steals the colors, dancing blind through endless night. All the black and valley blinds the day, steals the colors, fades away. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless night. All the black and valley blinds the day, steals the colors, fades away.
Awesome, right?
No, really cool. This plugin, I never seen it before. It's really, really cool.
No, it's because this is well. Usually these shows are more about mixing, but this plugin is excellent for sound designing. So good. Let me explain what happened. First, what I did here was I don't know why I feel that well, the camera is working correctly. Look, what I did is this. First, I tried using the phaser to a little bit of modulation, as I explained before, but to the transient information, which is the percussive nature of the vocals. Okay, so when I began adding the modulation, I let the LFO do the phaser thing, right? But it wasn't as notorious due to the nature of the singing because it's very percussive. So I swapped for the envelope, and it worked. I started to get the modulation, but it began to create weird ramp ups that I truly didn't like. But what I did to the tonal, which would be like the harmonic element of the singing, adding a liberal amount of reverb to it, added plenty of space and created this beautiful not a layer, kind of a bed for the main vocals, the dry vocals. Now that I turned this guy into a stereo sound, allegedly, we got a wider sounding take because I'm using this bad boy to blend it in. Now I'm gonna use an extra plugin, and I'm gonna turn it. I'm gonna make it a little bit wider. So I'm gonna use a spreader. I'm gonna use which one is a good one? Is a good one for this one? Yeah, shred spread. Look, this is by Rainworks. And this is actually a very cool plugin. It's very simple to use. Just simply you shred and spread. No, this is no. This guy actually allows you to set a particular frequency to mono, but as you can tell, it doesn't go higher than 800 or 400 because this is designed for guitar tones. Okay, but since I just want to make it slightly wider, you know what? I don't even let's try this guy, but I can use a different plan for this. Let's see.
All the black and red lights the day, steals the colors, fades away. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind through endless night. All the black and red lights the day.
Okay, pretty cool.
It worked.
Yep.
Am I convinced? Yeah, let's keep it there for the time being. It's actually not giving me issues, being frank. And yeah, so happy with the sound of this guy. Now let's see the next, the voice over here. I muted this guy, and I think this is a double of the main vocal. Let's see.
All the black and veil, it blinds the day.
This time around, I'm gonna add a little bit of modulation to that vocal. Sorry, I had my voice in mute. So what I was saying is I'm just gonna put that closer to the dry vocal because I'm gonna make a double out of this one. How? I'm gonna use micro pitch. No, we don't need that much horsepower. Little micro shift. And with this, I'm simply gonna select probably this guy. And let's see. I'm gonna blend it to taste. This voice ending. So all the way in.
All the black and red, it blinds the day, steals the colors, fades away. In its embrace we lose our sight, dancing blind.
Yeah, done.
Done. But why? This guy is creating micro modulations to the sound of the dry vocal, and by blending both the truly dry plus the overly affected sounding vocals, we got a thicker main vocal, right? But then doing my fusion effery on the vocals, damn, so cool.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on because we have time, not that much. So let's see, next section, because this is gonna be interesting. Here we got a super layered kind of final chorus. Let's see what we got. Let me begin there.
But in the dark, a whisper sings, a broken chain
You know what? Let's try this. Because why not?
But in the dark, a whisper sings of broken chains and bended wings. A smile defines the shadow scale to tear apart.
It works. Man, that
Of
was
course!
no, but it worked. What do you think? Did you
No,
see what I did? Can you explain it?
because you threw the ending channel, no, the track
Yes.
within the Vox 2 that already has, that's the one that has fission, right?
Yeah, it's the fission one.
So fission, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's fission, whatever.
Okay, but so is adding that cool reverb effect
Yeah.
plus the stuff on the center.
Yeah, for continuity's sake. if
And
that
it's
makes
working
sense.
quite well. I like
Yes.
what it's doing to the sound.
And since we already have this guy as a stereo band take,
Mhm.
it's already doing his part, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna save this guy. I'm gonna change the name yet again. Now this is gonna be BFX stereo. Good. And this is gonna be now rename. This is gonna be box double. Excellent. Now it's starting to make more sense. Now, let's take a look at the beginning because we got the sexy spoken word.
Yeah, I can barely contain myself.
Yeah, no man, I'm almost feeling the
Urges.
the some form of dampness.
Moisture in the
Moisture,
air.
yes. Yeah, that was
Horrible.
very horrible. Sorry, I take that back. Let's say.
A whisper sings of broken chains and mended wings. A spark defines the shadow game to tear apart the blackened veil. But in the dark, a whisper sings of broken chains and mended wings. A spark defies the shadow game to tear apart the blackened veil.
Okay, I love what you did there, Robin. The effect on the vocals on the evil voice is very cool. Now I'm trying to see what can I do because it would be a good idea maybe to overly compress the spoken word so it helps to compensate for the distortion and the pitch shifting effect that you apply to the vocals.
No, what could be interesting?
Let's see.
No,
Oh,
following the concept behind the song, it could be interesting of already starting off with them layered, but maybe with the spoken word on top in the beginning, and maybe swapping positions for the evil voice, kind of going louder and louder as that section progresses, to have it kind of getting on top of spoken word by the end of the section.
look at you, Tony Maserati.
Oh, well.
Okay, no, look, it's not a bad idea, but I'm already getting prepared for the mix. That would be mixing.
Okay.
Because this is the interesting part. We are applying some techniques that could be seen as mixing techniques, but you see that my approach is a little bit more liberal in this case. The fact that I went bananas on the compression and the effect on the fission or fission, wherever that is, already shows you that the mentality is not necessarily clinical. It's about getting results. Just one thing. Let's say that I commit to that and I create the automation. Let's say that once I hit the mixing stage, I print it using that automation. Let's say that it didn't work in the final mix, or it gives me troubles to position the vocals at the end because I kind of overdid it based on my mix right now.
Yeah, I get you.
That kind of stuff, good ideas, but those belongs to the realm of mixing music.
Okay.
Get me?
Yeah, no,
Because
makes
it's
sense,
not a
makes
bad
sense.
idea, but the thing is that I wouldn't do something like that right now because it could be me shooting the foot.
Okay. No, it makes
Later
sense.
on.
Yeah.
So be aware of this. But what I can do here is, for example, try a little bit of extra compression to the spoken word. Why? Because it's preparing them for the mixing stage. And for this, I could use something insane like a limiter that I don't necessarily like to use on during mixing. And even worse, I'm not gonna use a limiter. A freaking clipper.
Okay, gonna go aggressive.
Where is my squirrel?
Huh?
Squirrel.
Nah, too late now.
No, man. Nah. Wherever. Okay, introducing the Oxford inflator. Even the name itself is already telling you what it's gonna do. This is basically a clipper. So the idea of a clipper is just to push the stuff up to the point of it start to bad. Avoid the okay. Avoid the clipping.
What a very good
No, the
description.
thing is this. Look, if I were to be mixing, you have seen me. Well, not in a good while because we've been working on this project for a while. But you have seen me working with the rack here over here, and the main converter, the one that is receiving the end of the mix in bus, is the converter ID, and I, depending on the genre of music that I'm mixing, I like to hit it super hard, so it starts to clip. It removes some of the super intensely loud sounds that will be going through the mix. The sound of a converter clipping is very good. A good converter, of course, because not I don't know if you get that one of those entry level interfaces. Every time you clip, it sounds awful. But this guy develops a very beautiful character, and it's a sound that is very, very cool in electronic music, for example. And this track might be benefited by this insane strategy once we hit the mixing station. So what Inflator does is very similar to that. So let's see. I'm gonna solve the vocal. And we're gonna start to mess around with it. Which is it? Which
But in the dark, a whisper sings of broken chains and mended wings. A spark defies the shadow gale to tear apart the blackened veil. But in the dark,
I'm gonna increase the volume of the spoken word because it's whispered. I wanna see if I can go before I clip. Get it? I would say.
but in the dark, a whisper sings of broken chains and mended wings. A spark defies the shadow gale to tear apart the blackened veil. But in the dark, a whisper sings of broken chains and mended wings. A spark defies the shadow gale to tear apart the blackened veil. But in the dark, a whisper sings of broken chains and mended wings. A spark defies the shadow gale to tear apart the blackened veil. But in the dark, a whisper sings of broken chains.
Let's see how it sounds in the mix.
But in the dark, a whisper sings of broken chains and mended wings. A spark defies the shadow gale to tear apart the blackened veil. But in the dark, a whisper sings of broken chains and mended wings. A spark defies the shadow gale to tear apart the blackened veil. But in the dark,
Now we can hear
Yeah, getting a lot
every
more
word,
presence.
every word said by Robbie. You see the point, right? Now, if I were to be mixing this, I would add a little bit of a low cut to the evil voice, just to make it a little bit clearer. But now that we've got a very, very powerful sounding spoken word vocal, I think it's not needed. So, I am happy with these results. Now let's take a look at this. The crowd at the beginning. If I recall correctly, Robbie, you have it in a different position in your take, but I love how it sounds at the beginning. Let's see. Yeah, I like it there at the beginning. And Robbie here is saying that his idea is to use the two voices in the evil section to bring in slowly the evil sound. Yeah, basically what you proposed.
Yeah, yeah.
Swapping both voices while the track's playing. Yes, but once again, that's the stuff that should be done at the mixing stage because it could be very very critical if I do it in an incorrect way. Make sense? Because I already explained that before, but just to clarify. And here Robbie saying that the line of the party says no fighting. Oh, really? Let me check. At the end, which blends into the start of the next section. Okay, I didn't realize that. So let me see. You got it right where the song changes, right? It goes into a much more darker tone. Because I like how the track begins by having the party sound here. Look, I'm gonna copy it because I can see now your objective with this. We can bring it back because I like what he's doing now with this with the low cut. Let me see if I can figure out where it belongs. You say that the phrase kicks in at the very end, right? Let me solo it. Yeah, I see. You hear nothing. How is that? Oh yeah, you are deaf. No, of course not. It's because that guy is not feeling the sum. Thanks for letting me know, Robbie.
The
Yeah,
party crowd.
it was only that guy.
Okay. Because it was not part of
It
the
was
same...
not part of the cluster.
And the toms.
Let me
maybe...
check. I'm gonna be no. The thumbs are correct. It's the
Okay.
only one that I don't know why I skipped it. Okay, let's see. See how it sounds like at the beginning. I like it. I think that sounds very badass. Now let's see this section because you know what? Let's do something super fun. Reduplicate. How do I duplicate? Here. There it is. Perfect. I will delete this one and I'm gonna delete this one. So I'm gonna do F3. Let's do some F3 here. In here, I'm gonna commit to this. I'm gonna insert a reverb. Reverb. Which one to use? Oh, I think I'm gonna use something kind of. Let's go for Hitsville.
Alakablam!
There is Hitsville. Let's see how it sounds like. Let me solo the party.
Automated.
Sorry. This is gonna be badass. Do you know what I'm doing?
You're gonna automate it.
Look at that. Yes, I am gonna automate it. Steer with all the way to the top. And let me make sure that we got the automation set on. Here we go. Yes!
Queen.
Yeah! And I'm gonna make this slightly less insane. That's over there. And
Rob is
then,
commenting Eyes Wide Shut Party. Oh, so you got the sample out of
it's,
the...
it's from the party.
Okay, that's cool.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody's sticking to the concept.
Yeah.
Let's see, because I think the sound is now super badass. Love it!
Cool.
But let's add more effery. I'm gonna add a phaser.
You can never have enough effery.
Nah. But we're gonna go for insta phaser.
Because we want phaser and we want it now.
Now! And we want it all. No, actually, well done, Robbie, because he's saying that he had to add a little bit of denoise and EQ it a bit. No, actually, it sounds very well done. Well done, Robbie. Actually, your surgical approach was very efficient. Okay, let's use this bad boy. This is insane. We're gonna use the... there. Let's see. Because I'm gonna apply the modulation, but I'm not gonna go all that bananas. Yeah. Alt. That's kind of player. Sync it to the tempo. And we're gonna be using the oscillator. Yeah, oscillator. Now, let's see the envelope. Because that means that the louder the signal is, the more effect we get. Let's see how it sounds like. Excellent. I think I went a little bit overboard with the effect. Let's do it again. Okay, what do you think?
I like it, but I think it's perhaps we're gonna benefit from a little bit less because I
Yeah.
think it's kind of killing the character of the party sound a little bit.
A little bit too early as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna dock it down and I'm gonna make it a little bit less. Start to get there. I'm gonna add less depth. Almost there. Look, the idea for this is to make it sync a little bit with the Bivy sample that is used at during the introduction.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get it in a way that they match. Because I agree, Robbie, it's kind of, I want to make sure that it doesn't remove the sound of the party.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to make it musical. And I'm using the envelope to let the sample itself be the one that turns the envelope, the sound of the phaser on.
Okay.
The louder it gets, the envelope is is when the envelope engages. So I'm gonna use the threshold there. I'm trying to make it only when it's super loud. Let's see. that sounds way better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna apply it even because the idea is just to apply it to the reverb, because once I am using the envelope, the louder it gets, the more of the effect it starts to engage.
Yeah.
Let's see how it sounds without it. I'm not convinced yet, so I'm gonna leave it for where it is right now, because the reverb doing the trick at the beginning is already doing the well, making it sound badass. Now let's see what else can I do. What do I have planned for this? Let's get this section here. Let's take a look. We got the 3 vocals here, the ones that I explained to you at the beginning. Let's see what we can do with it. Oh wait. We're gonna do the no fighting.
The positioning, yes.
Yes, because I actually like that idea. Rename. No effing. Obviously, because that fighting,
Of course.
and that way I can read it here easily. Look, it says beautiful. Show them the big shot of the word.
Yes. No F.
Okay, good. Keeping it classy.
Yes.
Okay, now let's find the point on which the no fighting happens. Got it. So it's gonna be somewhere there. Let's see, because I will actually do a huge fading. Yes, so I kind of nail it. Vocals or spoken word, Robbie. Let's see, because I think that I can sample the no fighting and just trigger it randomly. Let's see. Nailed. Just by accident. I think it needs to go on the click.
One click back.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, let's see. The issues that we got the first riser there. You were on the money, Robbie. Well done. Love it.
Because just before the riser.
Yes. Now let's see if I can make it an instrument. Let's see, because I think it's gonna be basically this section here. Wish.
No logic.
No logic. Play it. Sorry. Again, this is logic. Let's say I'm gonna create a new instrument super quickly because we gotta finish now. Instrument track. Somebody. Good some. No sampler. No man, somebody knows his stuff around.
Look at that.
There is.
Voila.
And voila. Let's see. Okay, it's here. Fighting, no fighting. What do you think?
Yeah.
Again, because this is very quick. Oh, look at that! I'll increase the release. Okay, now, what can we do with this? Let's add effects. With the delay. No, look at that. Let's use the MFer. MF. Wait it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it super slow, long. Super. The full sync to this, temp sync as well. And let's hear.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's starting to get somewhere. I'm gonna increase the feedback. Again. Damn it.
Yeah, okay. Now that's cool.
That's pod racing, man.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So let's turn this into a sound. Yes, that one. So let's do it. I'm gonna create here. Is this an instrument? Yes. Let's do it. I'm gonna record. Jesus Christ. And this is because I don't want to plug my goddamn keyboard, mind you. And I might end up doing it. What is this? Here we go. I think I nailed it.
Let's see.
But it got lost in the huge mess of a mix we got. This is gonna be no effing or no effing.
You already have no effing.
Oh, so effing,
Effing no effing.
effing, no effing. Yes. Let's see. Let me increase the output of this guy as well. Show me the money. Where is my output? Yeah. Here we go again. Yes, it works. Of course, it was ridiculous, but let's see. Yeah, even goes along with the what's the name of that thing? The
riser.
The riser. Yes.
Yes.
Now, what happened? First, I created a sample using the built-in sampler. I decided not to go bananas with this because I just wanted to be able to control and trigger the track, but also because when you sample something and you change the pitch of the sample, you create all sorts of very funky sounding artifacts. And that's due to the fact that there is something known as format. The format, it's what, imagine that the sound of my voice right now being produced by my body, and I'm going to explain this in the most simple fashion possible, okay? Whenever I'm speaking, I produce a particular sound that is based on the shape of my throat and the way that my whole vocal apparatus works. And if I record this vocal, it's going to represent a particular set of frequencies, okay? When you pitch it using this, you simply take the snapshot of the EQ curve of my voice being recorded, and push it upwards or downwards, depending on you pitching up or down. If I increase the pitch right now, I still have the same frequency response, but now I'm covering a little bit of a higher end. That's why when you pitch stuff on a sampler, it sounds weird, and does the chipmunk or the monster sound. Make sense?
Yeah.
Some samplers have actually a format a feature that allows to make a less terrible, not less artifacting sound. Okay, so I think we got a very cool sounding track now. Let's take a look from the beginning and give our final takes because let me check this section. I won't. Why? We gotta leave in 5 minutes. Okay, so let's go from the beginning, listen to the track, and then we share our hoorays. Here we go from the top.
Yes.
It works. I like it.
Love the excitement.
Yeah, no. Actually, no. This is freaking amazing. Robbie here is saying that would work. Turn into a song with balls. Balls indeed. Actually, yeah. Look, what do you think?
Look, I like it a lot. How it turned out, because the music was already cool to begin with. I think Robbie's additions were very well contextualized, because I think he was very mindful of both the music and the concept behind the song.
Yeah, he stuck to the plan.
He stuck to the plan, and it shows.
Yeah.
And I like how he uses the layering and everything. And I think it did enhance the song.
Yeah.
I think this is the final version of it, and it's a very badass track. to
Yeah,
be
it's
very
fully
honest.
fleshed out now. You recommend it, and I think it's a good idea adding a little bit of the fighting.
The no fighting, yeah.
The fighting.
Fighting, no fighting.
Yeah, that one. Here at the very point on which we got the next section of the track, I think it's a good idea. Let me see if I can do it, because we got like 2 minutes to do it.
Just duplicate it.
Yeah, like a champ.
And look at that.
That's not the correct section.
Yeah, I think it's there.
It's a little bit further down. Further down. I think it's here. Yeah.
It's gonna have to be lower in volume. on
Of
that
course,
section, but
right now it's a mess. And look,
Yeah.
I want to address some of the sections that I didn't work on. For example, these voices. I will be doing, for example, here there is a throw in the making. Listen to it. Yeah, that bail, but super long, almost to infinity, the delay. So I can even program some stuff happening, but that's done during the mixing stage. Also, that section will be kind of in the backdrop and super reverby, because the idea is to kind of create this kind of atmosphere rather than this leading vocal sound. I will, of course, as well play a lot with the reverse vocals. So I can add more effects. I'm going to use it as a layer for effects, or as a blanket if you wish. And that would be basically it. So, in my opinion, yeah, this turned out into a very good sounding track. I think it's going to be a badass song once it's mixed.
So are we done?
I think we're freaking finished! We are always longing for the moment in which we can use that freaking meme.
We use that guy every few months.
Every few months, so we truly have to celebrate it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did it. Yes, yeah. Now addressing this question, Robbie. Yes, my plan is to mix it on the newest version of Mixbus. So wish me luck. I have no idea. I haven't even bought it. So I will deal with that during the week. Thank you, Rob. I think it's a good track, and it's gonna be very fun because next stage is gonna be mixing this track. It's not gonna take as long as this saga. Because I actually had to, I wanted to explain some of the features of Bitwig, and also I had to dust my Bitwig skills because it's been a while since I worked on it at this level of intensity. But I think the results speak for themselves. I kind of recovered my skills. Still, there's some stuff that I'm still clunky at due to my I need to, I'm old. My memory is kind of starting to fail me. And also the fact that I work with several DOS throughout the week kind of also makes it confusing. But all in all, it's a very good, successful project. I'm happy with it. Questions before we go?
No questions.
Okay. So, stay tuned because next week we're going to be mixing this bad boy, hopefully on Mixbus 11. And it's going to be a completely different affair. For those of you who have just discovered the channel, we are moving from production to mixing and even recording depending on what I have to do during the week. Of course, this track is designed to be done for this particular set of exercises, and we're going to be using this guy now to explain mixing techniques. And we're going to be using Mixbus, allegedly. So, with that being said, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. If you want to support this channel, the best way to do it is by listening to music on Apple Music or Spotify. That kind of sounds like this, but it's a little bit more aggressive. Well, it has actual real drums for now. But also, you can support us by following us on Instagram and X, and by being part of our Discord, where we can keep the conversation going. So, with that being said, as every single time that I meet you, I gotta remind you that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. And remember that we gotta go and pack up because we have to go to a freaking recording. And we'll meet you and we will see you when we see you.